Today we're going to be going over Clear Health as a service for Accutane prescription, as well as a general walkthrough of how to use the platform, some pros, some cons, and final takeaways to see if you are a good fit for Clear Health. So let's get into it. So no, Clear Health is not a scam for Accutane purposes. Of course, there are pros and cons to the service and might not be the best fit for everybody. So today we're going to go over what is Clear Health and if it's a good fit for you. I was also in the same boat about 5 months ago when I first started Accutane, and of course there weren't any videos about it, so of course we're making this video now. For some background, I've been on Accutane for about 4 months now. You can watch my retroactive video here. So it's not a scam because, you know, my skin's a lot clearer than it was before, even when I was making that video. The reason why I personally started using Clear Health is because I do not have insurance. I live in the United States, and of course Accutane going through any traditional dermatologist would cost a pretty penny. So I chose to do the telehealth path, but of course there were some drawbacks from using this service. We're going to go through that today. I never considered myself to have severe acne, but I did have very treatment-resistant acne, meaning that nothing really worked. If you want to watch the full background of my acne history and how it's progressed through the months, I recommend checking out this video. So first, let's go through the pros. The pros of this service is that it's convenient. You get to do everything from the comfort of your home. Telehealth as a whole is more convenient than doing the traditional medicine route, because you can do everything from the comfort of your own home without having to deal with wait times, without having to deal with a bunch of arbitrary things that are out of your control. So that is a big reason why I enjoy it. But that also means that a lot of the tests can be self-administered. Within the scope of Accutane, that would mean that you have to administer your own tests. So for example, pregnancy tests. As a woman, I have to take monthly pregnancy tests in order to be approved for my Accutane, and that's something I have to do by myself. Not a big deal because you're just peeing on a stick, but that also means that you can just bulk buy your tests and not have to pay like $150 to pee in a cup and have a doctor stick their pH strip in it and show you that you are not pregnant. So that's something good. I'm not sure how blood tests work. Of course, if you're a guy, if you're not a woman, then disregard that whole part. To quote the Clear Health website, we are the friendly, knowledgeable online dermatology and skin health specialists designed for the digital generation. And I think that's a good summation of what the company is. Another pro is you have 24-hour access to talk to your dermatologist. You're assigned a dermatologist from the start that you can funnel any questions you have to, ask about any side effects that you're experiencing, as well as just general best practice questions. For example, when I had first started, I just had god-awful dandruff. So I was able to contact my dermatologist to ask, hey, what are some good solutions for my debilitating dandruff? Because it's really bad. It's never been this bad before. They were able to suggest some things, and we got that taken care of within an hour or two. For Clear Health, you can choose to either pay out of pocket or with insurance. If you pay with insurance, they do ask you a general questionnaire before you get started and are approved for Accutane to make sure that your insurance covers it. So that is something to take note of. But for me, I'm paying everything out of pocket, and that's why it made sense for me to use this to begin with. With the actual medication dispersant, you have two options for how you want to receive the medication. Either a local pharmacy pickup, or they can ship you exactly what you need to your door for a little bit of an upcharge from their own pharmacy. For your reference, I currently pay $170 per month for a 60 milligram 30-day dosage when I pick it up at my local Costco pharmacy. But if they were to ship it to me directly, it would cost, I believe, $220 for the month. So direct shipment would be a good option for those who don't live next to a pharmacy, but if you are able to pick up at a local pharmacy, I would recommend that because it is cheaper substantially. Those are the general pros of Clear Health that I can think of, but if I think of any additional pros, I'll make sure to comment them below as a pinned comment for you to review. But now, let's get into some of the cons. Bear in mind, this is just my personal experience with them, and I had kind of an extenuating circumstance with one of my issues, so I would say it's partially self-inflicted, partially something that they could fix. So let's get into the cons. First and foremost, their support is good sometimes. Their support team could use a little bit of work. I would say at best it's lackluster. Depending on the complexity of your question, they respond sometimes very soon and sometimes not very soon. And I'm going to get into an example of it in a little bit. Another thing is that their platform is a little bit janky and difficult to use. As someone who's used other dermatology telehealth services, I would say that Clear Health has been the worst platform to use. It doesn't make sense, right? If you're a telehealth service, you would want your online portal to be super easy, super seamless, super clear cut to the user to use. But theirs is not the case, and I'll give you a couple of examples why. If you're from Clear Health and watching this, I hope you genuinely take some of these suggestions to heart, because I would consider myself an average consumer, so if I think this, the other people that you probably serve think this as well. So when you go on the website, helloclearhealth.com, you are met with a very generic sales page. That's fine. Also, did you know that this guy, he is the founder of this company? Pretty cool. When you log in, this is the portal that you see. It's fine. It's not bad, but it's definitely not great. And I'm going to show you a couple of reasons why. So this area is where you can see all of your current notifications. As you can tell, I am 7 days behind on my next monthly evaluation, and that's because my last monthly evaluation took too long. But that's not their fault, that's my fault. So whenever you do a follow-up, you're prompted to do it. And how you actually do it is you come into this portal and you do a follow-up visit, but I'm not going to go into that right now. A couple of cons with this is that it's a little dingy. Like, something like this could make more sense in its own notification section instead of just crammed up here. Another big thing that I think is very stupid is that whenever I was getting shipments for this, bear in mind, I got shipments for 2 of these. It's really hard to change the pharmacy, and it's because I'm not paying with insurance. So if I click change pharmacy, you either choose I want to use my insurance or I will pay out of pocket. But when you choose I will pay out of pocket, medication by default is shipped from Clear Health Pharmacy Network. There's no third option for I want to change it and I want to change it to this pharmacy. I don't know why that is. So many a times I've clicked this because I do want to pay out of pocket, thinking that it would prompt me to choose between the Clear Health Pharmacy Network or if I just needed to choose a local pharmacy. It just doesn't give me that option. So this is a con. In order for your medication to go out to the pharmacy of your choosing, you have to reach out to support. So just bear that in mind. This is where you could go to send out any medical questions or non-medical questions. This is just to their support, and then this is to directly your doctor. Like it says, response time is 12 to 24 hours, which is pretty quickly, considering you can do it any day, depending on when you're trying to talk to them. So just keep that in mind. Every month you have to come into here to see what your action items are. Depending on what month you are in for your prescription, you might have to do lab work. Whenever that blood work is done, you just have to submit it into here. Another thing is you have to log your own pregnancy tests. So what they have you do is take a picture. Let's just pretend that this is my negative pregnancy test. You have to hold your negative pregnancy test as well as a piece of paper with your name and today's date on it. Take this as a picture and then submit that to here. So I'm not going to show you my previous uploads. Actually, I could show you my previous uploads. You can see like this is the log of previous pregnancy test uploads that I've taken. All have to be negative, of course, but they would go in here. I can't show you anymore because it's been a couple of months since I've had my last real shipment directly from them. But another qualm that I have is that once they send you the medication, right, directly from their pharmacy, because I didn't know any better, when they send it to you, they don't give you any sort of tracking. Even if you ask support directly, once I've gotten tracking information, that's it. That was the only time I've ever received tracking information. And when I did, it was already too late because I was going to receive it that same day. There's no real transparency in that. And because of that, it would show up here, but I haven't gotten it from them in a while. Just know that you won't really receive any tracking information. So now that I'm looking at it, honestly, this platform isn't bad. I think I just misremembered it. But like I said, within the grand scheme of things, there could be some aspects to be improved upon because it's overall okay. It's fair. It's not great. And lastly, the biggest and partially self-inflicted qualm that I have with this service is the difficulty to change the pharmacy. As someone who travels a lot for work, I kept trying to change my pharmacy every month because I have to travel for work. But then I realized you can get someone else to pick up your prescription. So now I just have my mom pick it up every month and she just mails it to me. And bear in mind, she lives across the country. It's not very expensive, but that's just to give you an idea of how actually difficult it is to change your pharmacy as someone who's not paying with insurance. You have to go through the support, and the support usually is really slow at getting back to you, hence my last point. And because of that, they either end up shipping you the shipment anyway, even though you told them to cancel it, or they just don't change it in time for the shipment that you're currently talking about. So it's a lot of support-based errors and support-based issues that I've had. Completely understand that it's partially self-inflicted. So if you don't plan on making any travels within the 6 to 8 months that you're on Accutane, then this is not even a con. But if you are, that is something you have to bear in mind. Let's talk about pricing. Like I mentioned in the very beginning of the video, the biggest reason why I chose to do Clear Health is because I'm not on insurance. It would cost so much money out of pocket to go to a dermatologist to get Accutane prescribed, plus all the ins and outs of the tests and whatnot, so I chose this because it's most fairly priced. As of January 2023, the price for every monthly consultation is only $59. That means that on top of the medication cost, which is $100 to $200, you'll also be paying $59 per month out of pocket to get that follow-up checkup with your doctor to make sure that you're doing okay, to make sure that you are on the right track, to make sure to facilitate with any questions that you might have, etc. Totally reasonable in my opinion within the grand scheme of dermatology as a whole. So take that as you will. That is pricing as of right now. So every single month I pay around $200 to get my medication, to get my checkup, and make sure that my acne stays at bay, which quite frankly, I don't regret. I'm very grateful that I have an extra $200 to spare every single month, and for something like this, I think it is totally worth it for everything. Looking better, feeling better, being more confident in social situations, all of the works, totally worth it. So if you feel like you're kind of on the same boat as me where you have a little extra money to spare for 6 to 8 months and are wanting to make a change in your skin, then I do recommend it. But if really good customer support and really easy to use online features are something that you really want out of a service like this, then maybe I do not recommend it for you. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any additional questions. I will answer them in the comments, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.